is still functionally, administratively, and financially tied to the Service Commissions Department, it is now duly accountable both to the Police Service Commission and to the Service Commissions Department. We have known since biblical times the difficulties of trying to serve two masters, and therein lies the nub of the issue for us. We have recognized that notwithstanding what Professor Mostrowski has said in terms of his vision for the Secretariat, which was one where he said, the staff must be sufficiently large and knowledgeable to be able to specify what information it requires from the police service, to review it and make judgments about it. When necessary and appropriate, it must be able to gather information on its own, whether that means holding public hearings, interviewing police officers in private, or surveying members of the public. In addition, the Police Service Commission must be able to assure the public that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is using appropriate methods for governing its finances and handling personnel matters. That is to say, the new PSC's key role is that of a watchdog over the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We have not been able to effectively carry out that mandate given the present construct in which we operate. The tenets of the Constitution, specifically Section 123 and Legal Notices 101, 102, and 103 of 2009, mandate the Police Service Commission and its Secretariat to perform certain functions. The PSC itself cannot effectively perform particular functions, but it requires the support of the Secretariat to research and investigate matters pertinent to the operations of the police service. It needs the Secretariat to manage its records, administer certain operations pertinent to the functions of the Police Service Commission, develop mechanisms for the monitoring and evaluation of the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioners of Police, provide advice in certain matters relating to law, assist with policy implementation, researching and presenting reports with regard to criminality, policing, utilization of resources available to the police service. They're required to consult with stakeholders, prepare documents and programs to educate the public, assist with the selection of suitable persons to fill the position of Commissioner of Police and Deputy Commissioner of Police. Recently, we saw the government, by way of Legal Notices 218 and 219 of 2015, seek to fast-track the process of the appointment of a commissioner. Similarly, we are saying there is need to fast-track the legislative reform needed for the Police Service Commission to ensure that we are able to effectively carry out our mandate, our function, and our mission. We require that there be consultation and consensus on these issues, similar to what was advocated by the President of our Republic in his address earlier this morning. And we say that we need to have this done within a very short time frame, because the responsibilities and mandate which we carry are ones where we are accountable to the public in a constitutionally designated function. And we would like to ensure that when our time in office is done, it would be said of us that not only does the bulldog have teeth, but it can bark as well as it can bite. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, for that thought-provoking presentation. And last but not least, we have Jerry McNeil to give you the last presentation in this particular session.
Well, thank you, David, and good morning. And thanks for the opportunity to bring you a few thoughts from Canada, specifically Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So I'm the Independent Police Review Director for Ontario, and so I'd like to thank the Police Complaints Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and to allow me to participate and share some thoughts with you today, and also to congratulate Director David West for foresight, his foresight in bringing those of us in civilian oversight together to have some conversations and to share some views and some thoughts as we move forward. And, but mostly to bring enhancement, David, to your PCA's motto of finding truth and ensuring justice, and that's what most of us work in this field try to do. I think it's safe to assume that the majority of people in this room agree that civilian oversight of police is a good thing. It's a necessary thing, and the President said it this morning also. The wide-ranging powers that we bestow upon police and the discretion that we give them, give officers in their position as gatekeepers of the criminal justice system, gatekeepers of ensuring public safety, and gatekeepers of ensuring that they carry their duties properly, makes it vital for members of the public that they have means of redress if officers abuse their powers that we bestow upon them. And remember, we give them the powers as citizens. It is also important that the means of redress be able to prevent police from seeking protection from scrutiny behind the thin blue line, as we say in Canada, or the blue wall of silence, as they say in the United States, and I stand corrected. In this session, I want to be able to share with you some insight into my office and basically to share with you some insight into concepts and to talk about some limitations that exist, in my opinion, and give you some experience and talk about resolution. So in Ontario, and I only speak for Ontario, as you know, it's a large province. We have 3 oversight agencies in Ontario. My agency that deals with civil matters or police misconduct. The Special Investigation Unit that deals with police shootings, sexual assaults, and major injuries, and the Police Commission that really is a bit of an adjudicated body that deals with appeals from Police Act hearings. My office, I must tell you, is independent of the government, it's independent of the police, and it's independent of the public. I am lucky to operate in that fashion. I do not get directions into carrying out my job by the government, nor the police, nor the public. My organization role, though, is not to get cops. It's not to side with cops. My office acts in the public interest. It does not directly advocate or represent the complainant in the matter. Instead, we are there to be neutral. We are there to be unbiased. We're there to be fair to the public. We're there to be fair to the police. My office receives and manages all public complaints in Ontario. We do so independently. We're a civilian organization at arm's length from the government in that sense. We deal with complaints about conduct of police officers, about policies, and about services. My jurisdiction includes municipal police, regional police, and provincial police. There are some 24,000 police officers, sworn police officers in Ontario, and we're the second largest police force group of police officers in Canada, beyond the RCMP, over whom I have no jurisdiction. So I'm not really going to go into the history of oversight. You have my paper and you have some of these comments, but safe to say that when a complaint comes into my office, and we receive about 3,000 complaints from members of the public annually, my decision and my role is, and my office's role is to decide if it's a valid complaint firstly, and if the matter should proceed. Our legislation states, and is supported by court decision, that when a member of the public files a complaint, that complaint is deemed to be a valid complaint, is deemed to be a complaint eligible to be investigated unless the director my office determines that it should not be investigated, and we have a bunch of criteria for looking at that. And then we have the ultimate criteria, which is in the public interest. And you've heard that mentioned a number of times already, and you'll hear it mentioned over the next couple days, because we act in the public interest. Agency independence for effective civil oversight is to promote public trust and police professionalism. The main goal is to ensure that the police carry out the duties in a fair manner, in a proper manner, in a professional manner. I'm skipping over some of my presentation because I wanted to make sure that we have some time for questions, but it's in the materials I provided to you. Effective civilian oversight typically includes a fair, independent, transparent process for dealing with public complaints about the police. The cornerstone of an effective civilian oversight body is independence. It's independence in relation to the body that is overseen. It's independence from the police. In our case, police services. We carry out independent investigation in a thorough and a fair manner, and oversee investigations by police services in a fair and a transparent and accountable manner. So that is to say that while I have 15 investigators on my staff, surely I cannot deal with the volume of complaints I've indicated. So I refer complaints to the police service that it came from or another police service under my directions. They have to follow my directions when I send it for investigations. We monitor each and every investigation. We review each and every report and decision that comes out of those investigations. If I'm not happy with the decision, I can send it back for further investigation. I can take it over and do that investigation myself, or in some cases, I could substitute my decision for that of the decision that was made. Civilian oversight of law enforcement promotes professionalism and helps to build public trust in police. Civilian oversight can ensure that the concerns about police are dealt with purely as an issue between the police service and the officer. It can be dealt with. It ensures that police are held accountable to the public for their conduct, just like any other organization or professional group holds its members accountable. It can provide an early warning system for the identification and resolution of problems, including the systemic problem between the police and the community. One of my jobs is to also do systemic reviews or inquiries into police behavior that seems to be chronic type behavior. And I do those regularly. I believe that some of these are the essential pillars of oversight, that I will explore them. I am going to explore them in greater detail in a paper I'm going to talk to you in a presentation tomorrow about accountability and transparency. So what's in it for the public? There are benefits for the public. I believe in civilian oversight. It promotes and maintains confidence in police, but also confidence in the public complaint system. It ensures that police are accountable for their actions, and it improves the public understanding of police work. One of the things I found out when I set up this organization about 6 years ago is that members of the public, including myself, I couldn't be a police officer to do this job, I must be a lawyer, is that there was so much that we didn't know about the police day-to-day practice. And one of the things I've been telling police in the last 6 years is, please explain to people, please explain to me what it is that you do in carrying out your job. Stop operating in shadows and operate openly and operate publicly and transparently. And so those are some of the models that I follow. What are the benefits for the police? It discourages misconduct.